Hey guys, so today I want to do a tour of my community lots in my Pleasantview. This is kind of like a part 2 to my first video of my Pleasantview tour, and I was inspired to make this video by a comment that I received, so I just wanted to take a moment to quickly thank those few people who commented and everyone who subscribed. I wasn't expecting to really get any sort of reaction from my video, so I feel super grateful that even a few of you have some interest in my Pleasantview. So I really loved reading the comments, and if anybody else has any random thoughts that they have during this video, please feel free to comment. Those are my favorite. I love getting comments because I really want to talk to you guys. I want to hear what you guys have to say and just connect over The Sims too. So I'm going to go ahead and start over here in Old Pleasantview. I kind of made this area a little rural. I wanted it to look, less lived in. So we have a factory over here, and then we just have a couple lots. So over here we have the old barn, and this is what I imagine used to be like, the agriculture of the town when it first started up. So this is the old barn, and now, they're a bigger town. They don't need the local farming, so this area is kind of, dead. And we converted the old barn into a wedding venue. And that's because when I first started playing this game, when it was re-released, I forgot that you can't have weddings on community lots. But maybe there's a way to use this lot for a wedding. You could have your Sims come here and they can just propose the marriage. You can't have a party, I guess, but you can take photos and whatnot, make believe. But yeah, I was kind of sad that I couldn't really function this as a wedding venue. But let me show you the outside first. So I don't know how to build barns, but I thought this was kind of a barn shape. Maybe some things were added or changed to work as a venue. But yeah, so this is the front. And then when you enter in here, this is kind of the reception area. There's a dance floor, a DJ, and a bar, and a few tables to sit and have drinks and watch people dance. Oh, I did put a bar over here too. I came back into this lot and I was like, oh, I didn't put a bar in here. But it's right there, in the kitchen. But for food, you would use the buffet table that's outside. But it's kind of just there for show. So let me go into like this kind of view here. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Most of these lots are going to be very simple. There's a little photo booth over here. And then if you go out back, this is where the wedding is held for the most part. We have on this side, some tables, the buffet table, some drinks, and then we have where the bride and the groom sit to eat. The cake and the toasting table. We have a piano for some live music during the wedding. And then this podium is where they get married. I thought I had something over it, but I guess not. I guess I should add that, like a gazebo kind of, so you could get married when it's raining too. But just a few chairs and some place to stand if you have extra guests. But yeah, I tried to make it look good for like pictures. So, you stand here and you have the decorations in the background. I guess it's going to be kind of hard to get a photo here. With the house being up. But we'll see. I haven't used this lot yet, so I'm not too sure how functional it really is. If you have any ideas on how to have a wedding here without using mods please let me know. I'm scared to put mods into my game because I haven't had anything like pink soup. It might crash sometimes, but it's very rare. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. This is the upstairs. There are bathrooms. So this is the bride's area. So only girls can go and use this restroom and go into the bridal room. Same thing on this side here. And this is where they get ready. The bride and the groom can get ready for their wedding up here. There's a bathtub in the back. And just some places to sit for the wedding party, maybe. And yeah, I don't really like this style. I think it looks really ugly in here, but I kind of wanted it to look like that. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of fancy places are kind of ugly. So yeah, that's that. And that's the only lot over here for now. There's going to be farmhouses down here eventually, if I can build them. Okay, so our next lot, across from the future farmhouses, we have the Pleasantview Pet Park and the Pleasantview Pet Store. So let's start with the store. Alright, here is the Pleasantview Pet Store. It's really small, like I said. I like making my community lots small so they seem more full when the Sims come and hang out. But we have some imaginary outdoor kennels where you can go and play with the dogs, or maybe they have more dogs up for adoption that stay out there. I don't know. And then we go inside and it's small. We have 2 cat areas, some hamsters and some birds, some pet furniture, the cash register, the door to go back outside, and then the dog area here. I don't know if you add more of these, you get more options to adopt, but now that I think about that, it might be a good idea to make this a little bigger. But it works. It works. And then right next door is the pet park, so you can kind of see it from here. Alright, so here's the pet park. We just have a picnic area, and it's closed off, so you don't have to distract all the dogs over here. There's some restrooms back here. I kind of made this look like, the Sims 3 or 4 restrooms, with the little fence on the outside, and then it's just a basic restroom. But it looks like park-like. And then over here we have what would be the small dog area, and then the large dog area. I have a small dog and a large dog, so I would put my small dog in this area too and hope that there's no problems. But that's what we have for the dog park. And the last business, oh, it's not the last, but we have Dina's Fine Dining, and this is owned by Dina Goth. I figured since her husband died, oh no, I can't go into the lot. Okay, I had to go into the family in order to show you this lot. So here's Dina. Dina and her nice red car. But anyways, this is the restaurant that she had built after Mortimer died. She had all this money and she's like, oh, let me take my chance at being an entrepreneur. So she opened up this restaurant, and it's kind of like an outdoor-indoor type of theme. She wanted to bring the outside in, for the Sims who love the outdoors, but hate everything that comes with being outdoors. So they can come and dine here, or anyone really who likes, dining out. But yeah, so you come in here, and we have a little podium to check in. And then back here is just like, a little hangout spot. You can make a wish in the well, And then over here we have kind of like a lounge area. There's a piano and a microphone for entertainment, a little modern bar, and then some lounge spots. Everything's really open and green. Over here we have some more lounge spots and bars. I'm really bad at this, guys. I'm so sorry. um, and I put this closet here to act like a coat closet, but really, it's a place for you to woohoo. If you know, I try to put a woohoo spot on all my community lots because you know you're going on dates and stuff, and they be wanting a public woohoo, so we gotta, you know, accommodate. And this is Dina's office. I had to add this because I realized I needed a computer on the lot to run the business properly. So I added this area here. And that's the downstairs, kind of like a waiting area. And then if you're dining, oh wait, here is a bathroom. This was an afterthought. If it wasn't obvious, it was an afterthought right now as well. But bathroom is there. Upstairs, we have kind of a weird layout, but I had to do this and I kind of liked how it came out. I didn't plan to make it like this, but I was trying to put the kitchen in and there was windows on all the walls, and I was like, I can't put a kitchen anywhere except in the center. So that is why the kitchen is in the center of the restaurant, because I wanted there to be a lot of windows, but then it ended up making a really nice signage area. It looks really nice, and I wouldn't have thought about doing this on my own if I didn't just run into this problem. And then having a need to fill this. So it's kind of like a loft here. And then there's two dining sides that are open to the outside. And there's also a bridge, you know, for waiters to easily access different tables. But yeah, that's the restaurant. I really liked how it turned out. It looks fine dining enough to me. Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm giving an okay view for this. Maybe I'm rushing through it, like you know when you get nervous when you're making a speech or walking down the aisle at your sister's wedding, so you just walk too fast or you talk too fast. Is that just me? Anyways, our next lot is going to be, okay, we're still in Old Pleasantview. Our next lot is the Pleasantview Library. This is one of the original lots that come with the neighborhood. I think it's a clothing store, but I converted it to a library because when I first started this game, I thought you could, you know, go to the library and study or do your homework, but you can't do any of that. So it's kind of just a place for knowledge sims to come. Maybe they can play chess or get a cup of coffee, but it's a more quiet spot for your sims, you know. They would never be going to a club, so they need somewhere to go, so they can come here to the Pleasantview Library. And I tried to, you know, keep the shape of it so I could still have, you know, that feel of the original lot, you know, that nostalgia. But we still have the swing set. You know, I didn't want to put a swing set here, but the kid in me said, you know, you gotta leave the swing set. So we left that. And then we have this outdoor coffee area. I added this after I realized that the Sims can't come here and do anything. So there's a coffee spot. But I really like this lot. I think it's really cozy. You know, you come in, you got your bookstore stuff. You can buy some magazines. The book checkout, you know, there is a place to sit here. This is just a foundation piece in the center of these couches, and then I put a plant on top, and it made a nice little center seating area. Here we have a hallway with some bathrooms. I just didn't want to leave these ugly bathrooms just out there, so I made a hallway to hide them. And over here we have an area to play chess, some bookshelves. And then upstairs is a loft area. I put some tables to study at or do your homework. and then some computers. And outside we just have more lounge areas and an easel. But your Sims can't build skills on community lots, I guess, so I never really come here. I haven't came here once. It looks nice though. And you know, you could pretend and use it. I guess I just don't really have knowledge Sims to really take there. Our next lot is also an original lot. I'm not sure what it's called. Maybe I'll put it on the screen, but it's what I call the Pleasantview Plaza. And I'm thinking I'm gonna need to remodel this lot just a little bit because I'm starting not to like the outdoor area that I made. And what I'm talking about is this outdoor area here. I just put that because I was being lazy. I didn't want to make another store, so I just put this place to eat right here. I mean, I think it kind of looks okay, but I'm starting to kind of hate it. But the rest of it I like. So this is where I bring my Sims to grocery shop. This is the grocery store. We have a couple checkout lanes, the frozen and refrigerated area, and the produce. And this is a little spot to buy plants. But I like how it looks in here. It's small, it's cute, it makes for some good photos. The bathrooms are in the same spot that they originally come. I tried to keep the structure the same, so we have the bathrooms, very simple. And this is a thrift store. This is one of my favorite lots still. It's one of the first that I made and one of my favorites to go to. So I made kind of like a thrift store, just some random stuff, because that's what thrift stores have. And yeah, this is where I bring my Sims. If they don't have too much money and I'm buying them some new clothes, I'll bring them to this lot versus going to H&M or a more expensive clothing store. And then we have the dressing rooms with the creepy cameras. And then we still have the electronics store over here. We still have the games. And then just the register. I don't think I changed too much. I just kind of, redid the interiors. But yeah, we all know this lot. I'm not going to show you guys Woodland Park because it's basically the same as it comes. I just added a playground area. And then over here we have the pool and the gym and recreation center. And these lots in my head are connected. So let's take a look at the pool first. Alright, so here we are at the pool. Like I said, the structure is the same because this is an original lot that comes with the neighborhood. I just added a little parking area to take up some space. And then if we go inside, to the left here we have a clubhouse. And it's kind of a place where you can rent out and host your birthday parties, which you can't really do in the game, but you could take your Sims here for the birthday. And then there's just a little kitchen, a pool table, and a radio and some darts. And then this over here is the women's restroom and the locker room, basic restroom things and some showers. And then the same thing on the other side for the men. And then this is the pool. We have a lot of lounging areas, a decent sized pool. I had it bigger and I realized that this pool is way too big. So this is the size now. And then I also added in these hot tubs afterwards because I realized I didn't have any hot tubs at the pool. And then just some barbecue areas. And this opening is where I imagine it connects to the rec center. So that's it for the pool. And then the rec center is right next door. I also thought that Sims could gain fitness skill on community lots, but they can't. So this gym is not as functional as I would like it to be. But yeah, this is the building. The outside, we have the parking lot just to make it look more like a community thing. And if we go inside, we have, a little check-in desk. Scan your card, whatever. And then we have the bathrooms, locker room, changing room over here in this hallway. And a place to get some snacks, drink your smoothie or whatever workout people do. I don't know. I don't go to the gym. This is what I would think it would look like. And then just some workout equipment, some mirrors, and upstairs is a loft area to use as a dance space. So there is a radio and multiple different areas to dance. A lounge area, maybe you have a dance team and you need to talk about dance team stuff. And then in the back we have a couple of soccer fields. This is where you go to the pool and the basketball courts. So if your sim is into sports, they can come here and spend the day doing sports stuff. Alright, so that is kind of what we have for Old Pleasantview. There's actually one more lot, but it's kind of like in this residential area, so I almost forgot about it. This is the Baked Bean. It's a bakery and a coffee shop. It's kind of in a residential area. It says like there's going to be more houses over here on this side, and then it leads into downtown that way, and then Old Pleasantview is that way. So it's kind of a middle ground. I thought a sim would own it because, you know, I think a sim needs to own it for the bakery to function, right? So we have a little bakery area here. This is an employee lounge. And then we have the coffee shop here. And some seating. I also put some bookcases to be like, you know, you could read and have a cup of coffee. And then just some more seating over here. And the restrooms. So yeah, that's the bakery coffee shop that I haven't used yet. I don't know when a sim is going to be able to afford this. I might have to, you know, do some cheating. But it's cute, I think, for a sim to own. Alright, so let's move on to downtown Pleasantview. That is this street here. This is the main street of Pleasantview. It's actually called Main Street when you first get the neighborhood, so I just kind of set up the center of the neighborhood around that. Let's start with this. This is H&M. I wanted to build my own H&M store because we have all the stuff for it, but I didn't really like the pre-made ones, so this is mine. I don't know what I did on the roof. I kind of just tried to do something to make it look a little less boring. I don't really know if I like it, but it works, you know. I like it. So yeah, this is the outside of the H&M. And if we go inside, we have a little lounge area, you know, the husbands can wait here. And then over here we have a cash register with some jewelry and some cologne. Over here is where the shopping is done. We have another cash register. And then down here we have the changing rooms and the bathrooms. This is what the store looks like on the inside. And from the outside we can see, you know, the mannequin displays. Over here we have a couple bathrooms and the changing rooms here, which are kind of like unisex changing rooms but separated so two people can have their somewhat of privacy. And then upstairs we do have some more clothing racks just to kind of make it look more like a department store. So that's the H&M. H&M Main Street is what I call it. Alright, so The next lot I want to show you guys, we'll go down the street this way first. This is Big Bucks Betting. It's kind of like a casino slash bar. This is where I have places to gamble, and it's supposed to kind of look like an old warehouse. Maybe it was converted into a bar. So this is the outside. And then if we go inside, we just have a little entry area with some vending machines. And the first level is kind of like a sports bar and poker club area. We have the jukebox and some seating areas. And then down this hallway is the restrooms. And if you go upstairs, we have another seating area to watch sports games and do your sports betting. We have some dartboards and some more places to sit. The pool tables, the sports memorabilia. And then we also have a patio with nothing on it. I just imagine maybe Sims come out here to smoke or just get out of the building for a bit. So that's that lot. The next lot is a hair salon that I want Kaylin to own eventually, but I don't know when I'm gonna have the money to buy this salon. I might need to start making smaller lots that I want my Sims to own. And I don't know if this functions without a Sim owning it. I haven't tried to come here, but I should probably try. Anyways, this is what, let me show you the outside first. This is what the outside is looking like. I tried to give some of the lots parking lots just to look more like a downtown area that's kind of like, you know, merged together. You park in one spot and just go up and down the street. So you enter on this side here, and there's the checkout area and the waiting area, and maybe you can sell some products over here. And then back here is the employee room, break room, and the bathroom is over here. And this is the salon. And it's really plain right now because it's not in use, but it's ready to be used. I made like this area where you can like wash your hair, and then the cutting chairs. It's supposed to look kind of like an old building. Alright, and this here is the Dollar Baller. This is a dollar store, corner store. I based it off of a dollar store in my town called the Dollar General. But this is like the more hood version, the Dollar Baller. So that's that's how I came up with that name. And this is what it looks like on the outside. This is supposed to look very old, kind of run down, very cheap. This is supposed to be like graffiti, I guess. I don't know. Some weird posters on the outside, maybe. I don't know. There's some vending machines. And then this is where, you know, I have my lower income Sims come to get their groceries or their clothing. I actually need to delete this TV because I had it there to look, you know, like the security cameras, but all the Sims just gather behind the checkout desk and start watching TV, so let's get rid of that. And then over here we have the restrooms and the employee break room slash office thing. No Sim owns this lot. I kind of just made it just in case. But that's the corner store. It's right across the street from Brandy Brooks' trailer, which I really like for some reason. I just like imagining that they just walk over here and get their things. Alright, across the street from that, we have Sim Skate, which is a roller skating rink. And this is one of my favorite lots to come to. It's really fun. It looks good. It was one of the first ones I built down here on Main Street too. So it looks kind of like, an older warehouse building. That's kind of what I was going for this area. And then you enter and we have, a place to eat, get snacks, the snack bar, and the roller skating rink is over here on this side. But I like coming to this lot because the pictures always look very lively. That's why I like making the lot small. And over here is just an arcade area and a photo booth. I try to put these photo booths on a lot of the lots too, in case, you're there on a first date or something. You can take a little memorabilia pic. And then this is just some bathrooms. These were very much an afterthought, which is why they look so weird and small. It's just 2 bathrooms and 1 sink. Unisex. And then upstairs we have just another lounging area where you can watch people roller skate over the loft or dance. And then just a little patio outside. But yeah, I really like making these small, simple lots. You have to make so much of them, to fill your neighborhood up with different spots for your Sims to go. So I feel like making them small and simple is a good way to not get burnt out building them. And I think functionality-wise, they work really well because it's kind of hard for the NPCs to fill up big lots. So it always looks very lively whenever I go out because the lots are so small. This was an older apartment building, but as you can see, I've redone it. I'm not going to show you guys that in this video because this is a community lot video, but it's here in the downtown area, so I did want to point it out. So our next lot is going to be Main Street Bowling and Billiards. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I've only seen it written out on businesses and I always just call it pool. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe it's a different game with the same sort of table. But yeah, anyways, this is the bowling alley. Kind of has the same look as our roller skating rink. On the first level, we do have the snack bar over here. When you enter, this is a little register where you can check in. And then we have the bowling alley here. Very small. We just have 4 bowling lanes, a couple seating areas, and a small arcade. We got the photo booth. The bathrooms are back here. And if we go upstairs, we have the pool tables. Kind of more an adult area to hang out, and the bar. Maybe the adults hang out up here while the kids bowl downstairs. But this is another one of my favorite spots to go just because it's always very lively and you can take some cute pics here. Alright, so now we're getting into the lower income area. And so this is where I have the mobile homes, trailers, and I also built this little playground area for the Sims in this neighborhood to use. I do have a couple more parks in my neighborhood so that depending on where the Sim lives, that's the park that they would go to. So our lower income Sims, they just have this little playground here. There's a little barbecue area on this side. And this is a little mini dog park area. I really like this lot. I haven't come here yet, but I think, it makes sense in this neighborhood and it's really cute. All the neighborhood trailer park Sims can come share this playground. Alright, and the next lot I want to show you guys is a residential lot technically, but I'm running it as a home business, so that is why I wanted to show you guys this lot. So this is Joshua Rubin. He is one of the frat boys in Sim State University, which does not exist in my game anymore because after I graduated all the Sims from there, I deleted it and now I'm building my own university neighborhood. But this is a car lot and mechanic shop. So I kind of made up a backstory for him that his dad, who passed away, was a mechanic who owned this shop. So Joshua dropped out of college when his dad passed away and took over running the shop. Right now he doesn't have any vehicles to sell because he's not doing so well with the business because he's not a mechanic. So he just has his little soccer goal out here because he loves sports. But yeah, this is the outside. Here's a place to, work on the car. And you can also work on the car on the inside of the garage, which he's doing now. And then this is just a little, workspace. The garage, if you go through this archway here, you're in the office area. And if you go through this door, this is where Joshua lives. It's also the break room for the employees. So he just has a bedroom, a closet, the kitchen and dining space. And then this bathroom over here, it only has a toilet and a sink because it's for the customers and his employees. This is a waiting room, but he doesn't have any money right now, so there's no furniture in here. And then back here is an outdoor shower that he had installed since he's going to be living on the lot. Or maybe it's for the mechanics because I'm sure they get very dirty while they're working. But that's where we're at now for this lot. I really love how this lot came out actually. It makes me super excited to play as Joshua. But yeah, that's his little mechanic shop, and I'm hoping it functions how I want it to. I want him to, fix up the car and then plop it down somewhere over here, and hopefully Sims can come and buy the cars that he fixes. We're almost done. We just have one more community lot area, which is on this side of town. This is kind of, the more expensive side of town. So here on this street, before I forget, let's go over here. This is the Pleasantview Cemetery. And I did want to point out, if you watched my first video, I used to have the club right here across the street from the cemetery, but I moved it down a little further so, our Sims can rest in peace. So now it's the cemetery and then the spa and then the karaoke bar and then the club. So let's check out the cemetery first. Alright, so here is the Pleasantview Cemetery. We have a little entry garden here with this little statue. You can enter the graveyard to this side or this side. Everything's pretty much symmetrical. On this side we do have some graves already. We have, am I going to be able to see? I don't know. This is the oldies, and I think this is Darlene Dreamer, and this is the oldies dog. So I plan to have, all the graves surrounded in this little fence here, and we'll just keep filling up this lot. I don't know if I'm ever gonna have enough dead Sims to fill up this lot, but I thought it was a pretty cool idea because I don't really like the idea of leaving graves on the household lots. And if we do end up filling up the entire graveyard, then we can also go inside, and here I have a bunch of spots to place urns. So we have plenty of room for the dead Sims in this neighborhood. And then over here is a little restroom behind the stairs. Oh yeah, there's more urn spots upstairs. I thought these could be kind of like, rich families can reserve this entire room for their family only. But yeah, that's all we have for the graveyard. Oh yeah, and it is connected to the goth house over here. That's the goth graveyard there. Here, across the street from the cemetery, we have the River Spa. This is what the outside is looking like. So I wanted it to look kind of, you know, relaxing and spa-like, but not too much of a vacation destination type of spa. So that's why I went with a more modern structure, and then we put in the little pops of, you know, the tiki and the bamboo to make it look like a spa. We have the water in the entry. So you walk back here, and then we also have these slants because I just tried to make, you know, the entry look a little more grand. So I put in these little slant walls. And then if you go inside, we have the entryway here. We have a snack machine. I don't know how to work these things. I don't know what this sign means. I should probably look it up. I have them on my lots, and now like I don't want to visit certain lots because I don't want my Sims to have to pay for every hour that they're there. So you know what? I think I'll just start removing these unless it's owned by a Sim. So this is a spa. It's kind of like an indoor-outdoor type of spa. Modern, brutalist, but still natural. It's kind of the vibe I was going for. So yeah, out here we have some outdoor showers and the outdoor hot spring. Place to lounge. The wishing well, which I just kind of put there as decoration, not so much for use. And then if you go inside, it's just open to the inside. Here we have a bathroom, toilet, sinks, and the changing room. And here we have a sauna, and then just like a lounge area or waiting area for the sauna. And I wanted to bring the plants inside, so we have some indoor planters in the windows. I thought this could be, you know, imagine this is where you make the tea for the tea area. And then upstairs is where you get your massages. There's 2 massage rooms, but I kind of made this planks to... Oh, I kind of defeated the purpose of it. I wanted to put planks here to act like a divider that you could open or close, like if you're getting couple massages or a massage on your own. But I put these lights on it, so now it doesn't make sense for it to open and close. But what I can do is move this light here, delete that, and then there's a bigger version of that light here. I think I did this one. There. Okay, so this is now a divider that can be open and closed for couples or single massages. That's the river spa. I didn't really like how the roof turned out, but if you ignore it, it looks good. Alright, next door we have the Karaoke Cat. This is also owned by a Sim, so let me go into their family real quick. Alright, so I made this family. This is the first family that I made that I moved into Pleasantview. I feel like I'm gonna add, you know, a family that I make every rotation just to keep, you know, the gene pool flowing, so I don't get, you know, a bunch of crossbred Sims. So every beginning of rotation I'll add in another family, and this is the first family that I made. But let's go ahead and head to the community lot. Alright, so here we are at the Karaoke Cat. I really love how this lot turned out. It's very modern. It looks a little more expensive because it's on the expensive side of town. But this lot is owned by Edgar Montoya. They're a new family that I made because I needed another rich family in my neighborhood for Dina. So I did all this for Dina. But yeah, so Edgar owns the Karaoke Cat and he plans to take over Pleasantview. He wants to own the River Spa. He wants to own the Neon Flamingo. He wants to own everything. So we'll just have to see what happens. But this is where he's starting off. I don't know. Maybe I should take these off. He won't be able to make money. I gotta keep them. But I don't like to take my Sims here because I don't want them to have to pay. Maybe I should just like fix the price to put it as cheap. I don't really know how to run businesses in this game. We'll figure it out later. We're here for the tour. So this is where you enter. We have the bathrooms on this side. Whoa. Okay, we have the bathrooms on this side. Simple. We have a coat closet. You know why we have the coat closet now. And then a waiting area or a lounge area. This is a check-in area. Maybe you sign up for the group karaoke right here. This is where the group karaoke is. You have a stage. And the bar and some seating. And then upstairs you have your private karaoke rooms. These are my favorite colors, by the way. Like green and orange together is just my favorite combo ever. Those are my colors. If I had to pick some colors, I would pick those. But all the rooms pretty much look the same. They're just kind of laid out differently. We have the photo booth. And this is the larger party karaoke room. And then there is a patio out here where you can use the bubble blower. And on the roof, we have a dining area and a noodle shop because I'm Asian. I don't know, I associate karaoke with noodles. Well, yeah, that's the karaoke bar. I forgot to mention that this side of the neighborhood is called, what is it called? Riverside Pleasantview? Riverside District? Something like that. That's what it's called. So our next lot next to the Karaoke Cat is the Neon Flamingo. This is the hottest and only club in Pleasantview. Alright, so here we are at the Neon Flamingo, which was originally called Club View, but when I added all of the Neon Flamingos, I decided to change it to the Neon Flamingo. This is the seating area outside if you need some quiet time at the club. And then here we have a coat closet, of course, and a seating area again, because I think personally, clubs need more free seating areas, okay? Sometimes your girl just needs to sit down. And then we have a bar and more seating. And the Neon Flamingo, the first one. And the restrooms, which were an afterthought again. And we have the main dance floor here with some more flamingos. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at this. Yeah, here's a good view of it. I like that statue. That's all I have to say, I guess. And then upstairs, there's another loft area where you can look down. I guess I was going through a loft thing when I was building all these community lots, but we have more seating areas, some snack machines, and like a private group area with some private dance floors. We have a patio over here. Upstairs we have another rooftop bar, and this is kind of where, you know, the daytime action happens. I figured this would be like the day club area, so you know, the club doesn't only have to operate at night, it can also host day events with a daytime DJ, some lounge areas, smoking areas, some hot tubs. I should probably add a pool. I think a pool would be perfect at a day club, obviously, but I didn't put one here because I don't even know if you could add pools on the rooftop. So we just have hot tubs. And yeah, that's the Neon Flamingo, the club. All right, our next lot is going to be across the street. This is the beach bar. There's no beach here, but there is a river. It's the river beach. So here's the beach bar. It's tiki themed. It's a tiki bar. This is what the outside looks like. It's very small, right next to the river. Here we have an outdoor lounge area with a fire pit. You can look out onto the river. And we have some more seating on the front patio to have some drinks and be outside. When you enter, we just have a little seating area. This is where you can go to the restroom. And we do have a photo booth here in case, you want to take some pictures with your date. And this is the tiki food booth thing that comes with the game. And I thought it looked really nice inside for the theme. And then if we go upstairs, we have another tiki bar and a little dance area. And outside we put the mahjong table. I thought it fit here. So you can play some games on the patio that are a little different than, the traditional poker games or pool tables. But yeah, that's the tiki bar. Alright, so next to the tiki bar we have one more lot. This is the garden market. It's kind of like a farmer's market type of vibe, but I did want to have John Burb eventually own this lot because he likes to garden and I really love John Burb, so I want to give him the best life. So I figured, Sims could come here and buy fresh produce and stuff that are locally grown in Pleasantview. The inside doesn't have much right now because the building is kind of just here for show. But this is a little break room for the employees, and then we have the downstairs store area. We have the greenhouse. Put the roof up. Yeah, so it's kind of, it's very small. But I wanted it to kind of, merge the neighborhood behind it with the community lots in front of it. So kind of just have this garden area. And yeah, I kind of just want to run it like a garden where they sell, what they grow in their garden. It's pretty cute. I don't know. It's more expensive than I wanted it to be, but I might have to cheat. I might have to give John Burb a loan so he can buy his fresh produce market. Alright, so that's the Riverside district. And I think we just have one more community lot in this neighborhood, which is another park. This is the Riverside Family Park, so all the Sims that live on this side of town, they would typically go to this park here. Alright, so here we are. We have some barbecue areas, basketball court, a breakdancing area, and this is the playground. I think it's really cute. I like the wood chips on the ground. It's realistic. Here we have the bathrooms, park bathrooms, and then just some seating areas and some chess tables. And that's it. That's the little family park for this side of town. And I think that's the end. That's all of our community lots. So If you stayed till the end, thank you so much. If you watched my first video, big thanks to you too. I didn't think I'd be making another video, but after the response from my first one, it kind of encouraged me to share some more. And I hope to hear more back from you guys. Like I said, I love comments. I love just connecting with you guys. So if you have anything to say at all, please feel free to leave a comment. And we'll see what's in store for this channel, I guess. I don't really know. But I could see myself making some more videos. I do have a couple other projects that I'm working on. I am building my own college neighborhood. Like I mentioned, it's called Desert Bloom University. And since Pleasantview is such a lush terrain, I figured, I'd make the college a desert town just for something different. So this is what I have so far for it. We have some student housing here. I plan to build some cheaper student housing over here. This is the frat house, and the sorority house is going to be across the street. We have the dorms and some community lots. I have a lot more building to do, so this is a whole other project. And then I'm also making my first vacation destination for the neighborhood, which is called Pleasantview National Forest. I kind of imagine this to be, just over the bridge that exits Pleasantview, at the top of the mountain. So I figured when you keep going, maybe an hour out from town, you come to the Pleasantview National Forest, and you can come here. You can go camping on the lake, and I plan to build some more community lots here, a restaurant. Here we have an outdoor recreation grounds, and then I want to build a ski lodge. I don't know how I'm going to execute that, but we'll see. Maybe it turns into a different type of lot. And then maybe some cabins up here for our more wealthy Sims who don't want to go camping. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. And I guess I'll see you hopefully in another one. Bye guys.